So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to begin by placing this band above the knees. So again, if you don't have one, don't worry, you'll still get the same great focus together. So we're going to bring it above the knees by a few inches and try to keep it as flat as possible. We're going to go into a squat with a lateral raise. So if you have something to use for resistance in your hands, that's a great choice too. I'm bringing my feet 4 inches apart parallel, all 10 toes shining straight forward. We're going to exhale as we lower down. Let's get started straight away with the arms playing along, and then we're going to inhale as we bring it up. As the arms go outbound, we want to make sure that we are plugging them in between the shoulder blades. We don't want to just have them hanging out and using only the top of the shoulder muscles to support the weight that is outbound. We want to really think about drawing the arms in between the shoulder blades as we exhale to lower and inhale to bring it up. Now that band, if you have one, is going to be giving you some feedback through the lateral line, the outer line of the legs and the body. And that's really great also for deep core connection. What we want to make sure we're not doing, keep working on your end. What we want to make sure we're not doing is allowing that band to give us the feedback for the knees to tip inbound. So we want to keep the knees aligned, big toe, second toe, the whole time we're working. That's going to help us find the core connection, proper bone rhythms, and good effort head to toe. Exhale to lower down, inhale as we lengthen up. Let's go for 2 more here, and then we're going to switch it up. Exhaling on the way down, inhaling, think about inner thighs coming up alongside the spine. Exhale, let's hold it here. Now we're going to peel the left heel off the floor via the left inner thigh. You want to actually feel your inner thigh kind of spiraling outbound toward the band if you have one. Once we're there, now we're going to go into little baby reaches. So I have just the left heel up, the arms are outbound. Exhale as you lower, inhale to bring it up. It's like you're almost sitting in an imaginary chair, so you're not actually moving very far. And I don't want you to think about going down, think about going long behind you. Let's go for 3 more. We're going to change sides. 2. Let's hold it down, continue to plug the arms into the middle back. With intention, melt the left heel back flat to the floor. Right inner thigh is going to spiral out into the band. You want to feel that so you can find that connection all the way through the glute med. And then we're going to exhale as we lower. Inhale, bring it up. So it's just a lengthening of the spine, like you're sitting in that imaginary chair. You can take a quick glance down at your knees to make sure that they are still shining straight forward with the big toe, second toe. Let's go for 2 more here. We'll have 1 more last item of fun with this squat sequence. Let's hold this next one down, hold it down, keeping the right heel raised, keeping the arms plugged into the middle back. Let's go ahead and float the left heel up off the floor. We're gonna go down and back, woo, with both heels up. Try to keep all 10 toes active. I was really kind of pouring out onto the pinky toes, so try to keep the big toe, second toe connected. If the dumbbells feel aggressive, you can set them down or bring them in front of your chest the way that I'm demonstrating here. They were getting a little heavy for me. Last 3. Think about length through the spine the whole time. Last 2. And last 1 with the heels melting through the floor. Inhale and rise all the way up. All right, let's go ahead and keep those dumbbells, and we're gonna go into a plie. I'm gonna come into a turned out position now. I'm still about 4 inches apart parallel with the legs, and we're gonna go into a plie. But straight away, I'm gonna ask you to float the dumbbells up and overhead. That's gonna increase the cardio because now the blood has to travel all the way up to the top side of our arms. Melt the heart down towards the tailbone, and we're gonna exhale as we lower and inhale as we bring it up. So different from the squat, we're now keeping the torso upright. Exhale as we lower down, inhale as we bring it up. Plugging the arms down into the middle back. You can think about them kind of funneling into the base of the ribs as you melt them down the back, keeping them connected through the core. Inhale as we rise, exhale, the inner thighs are spiraling outbound. And if you have a band, you can feel that connection happening in your own body with that little tactile feedback from the band. Let's go ahead and layer on here. So what we're gonna do is hold at the bottom, both knees are bent, hips are creased, and we're going to pick both heels up, and then we're gonna set both heels down. So it's a balance challenge, and I want you to notice that I'm not moving my torso forward or higher. So we want to keep that organized. I'm really after the ankle, mobilizing and working on talus glide through the ankle. I'm working on both rhythms through the knees and the hips as well, all right? So we're really trying to lubricate those joints for functionality as we challenge our balance and pump up that cardio. I'm getting some heat. I'm hoping you guys are too. Broaden the collarbones, lengthen the tailbone from the crown of the head. We're gonna hold here for 5. Heels are up. 4, 3, 2. With control, we are going to bring the dumbbells down and the heels down, and we're going to transition into a plie jump. So we're going to do a very similar range of movement where the arms go up, but we're going to do a little choreographed sequence. So it's going to start like this. Exhale, both the knees and the elbows are bent, palms are facing forward. Inhale, I'm going to show you from the front. Inhale, we're going to reach and extend the right leg. So now I'm up on just the big toe of the right leg. Exhale, everything bends. Now switch sides. Inhale, up on the big toe on the left. Exhale as we lower. If you're feeling it and that balance challenge is for you, you can hover the right toe off the floor. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale as you hover and lengthen. So it's not about a side kick with that leg, and you can pick up the pace as much as you can stay organized. So it's not a side kick. Think about length and reach. I like to think about a long, narrow X as I'm lengthening and lifting. Exhaling down, inhaling as you rise. Arms still plug into the middle back every time you float up, keeping the navel drawn up and in the whole time. Think about those knees. You can take a quick glance down, making sure that they're staying aligned with big toe, second toe. That band is going to ask you to tip them inbound, and we really want to find that connection. I'm going to set my dumbbells down, keep working, to show you what it would be without the dumbbells. Same range of movement. We're just reaching and connecting to the arms. And give it an active reach. You'll still find great tension and great resistance even without weights in your hands. Let's go for 2 more. Hold this next one down. Hold and breathe. We're gonna peel both heels up off the floor again. My sternum is right over the pubic bone. Ribs are stacked over the hips. And all we're gonna do is butterfly into that band. Whew. The first one brings some heat straight away. So I'm going to show you from a profile. Keep working. We want to keep the torso upright. It's not about the knees moving. It's about the inner thighs spiraling outbound. And you really want to get deep into the glute med, inner thigh, low belly connection. See if you can go a little bit lower in that plie. All 10 toes are active. Last 3. This is 2. We're going to lay on our right side next. Last 1. Heels melt down. Inhale, gather to rise up. Okay, if you have the band, keep it. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. We're gonna come onto our right side. We're gonna have our right forearm down, and you're gonna stack your knees so that they are in line with the hips. So I have my right forearm down, right shoulder is directly above the elbow, and I want you to notice that the front side of my hips are pretty open rather than letting the knees creep forward, okay? So get the hips open from here. Try not to hang out in the bottom ribs. You can float the left arm up straight away. Continue with that cardio effort. And now we're gonna inhale, lengthen and lift. Hold the top of the bridge. We're gonna keep the left knee bent. Float the leg up, whether you have the band or not. Leg goes back down, but don't touch. See, I'm keeping that resistance. And now the hip touches the ground. Pick it on up. Leg opens, creasing at the hip. Bring it back, keep the resistance, tap it down, lengthen and lift, crease at the hip, bring it back about 2 inches apart, tap it down. So work at your own pace, staying organized. As we're lowering and raising, I need that bottom leg active, so it's not just hanging out. Think about imprinting away from the floor, the bottom ribs lift, then the top leg creases. We're gonna go for 2 more here. We're gonna hold the leg open and do small creases at the top. So this is a lateral movement. Try not to go into external rotation. So I haven't asked for the thigh to swivel forward like this. Keep working for 4. Think about length and lift off of the bottom ribs. Last 2. And this is our last 1. Go ahead and and bring the leg down, and we're gonna roll onto our backs and go into a little bridge sequence. So band or no band, keep on working. Lay all the way down, guys. Arms come to your sides, feet are 4 inches apart, parallel. We are going to think about the glutes lifting the pelvis all the way up to the top of our bridge. Arms are active in the floor. Here we go. Inhale as we lengthen and reach. Exhale, crease at the hips. Think about traction as you're lengthening the spine to set it down. And then we're going to use the glutes, recruiting the glutes to send our body up. Think about tractioning the spine, lengthening as you set the pelvis back down. Arms are active in the floor, or if you feel like you can find the glute connection without giving all the work away to the hamstrings, you can choose to float your arms up to the sky as we continue to lift and lower. I'm going to layer on a little cardio challenge here. So what we're going to do, if it's accessible to you, we're going to bring one arm down and one arm up as we raise, and then we're going to switch. And then the other arm reaches. Now my left arm is up and right arm is long. And then we bring it to center, tap the hips down. Right arm comes up, left arm reaches long. And bring it to center. Think about the glutes really being recruited. This should not feel like a hamstring killer. They're active, they're working, but it's not the only thing raising and lowering you. Find equal weight across all soles of the feet, all the way across. Find that balance. Hold the next one just barely off the floor. So we're going to kind of graze the floor with the back side of our pants. We're going to think about feeling that connection. You should feel a diamond on the front side of your body, or like a shield. That's your transverse abdominis, and I want you to find that activation. I'm going to move my hands just because it's a small range of movement so they're not in the way. We're going to lower down, and then we're just going to lift barely off the floor. So I'm not resting all the way down at any point, but I'm also not doing a great big lift. I want you to feel the deep abdominal activation to find that lift. Find the transverse abdominis working with the glutes and hamstrings to lower and raise you. It might even feel kind of like that shield wraps around to the back side of your back, and that's what we're after. That is how the muscle is actually structured. Let's go for 3. This is going to be 2. This is our last one. And go ahead and bring the hips all the way down. All right, guys, while we are here, let's do some postural work, all right? So we're gonna grab those dumbbells if you have them. If not, you can use a band, wine bottles, or any other sort of thing. We're gonna have our knees 4 inches apart, parallel. We're gonna bring our hands facing behind us, similar to what we would do with chest expansion, okay? And what we're gonna do is get that cardio cranked up while we're doing it. So reach the arms long and low, collarbones go wide, arms reach behind you just an inch or two, keep them there. Exhale as we crease at the hips, sit down on the heels. Inhale as you lengthen and lift. Keep the arms behind you. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale as you lengthen and lift. So we're going to keep that connection happening with our breath. The inhale helps us to access our deep abdominals rather than giving the effort away. Keep working. Rather than giving the effort away to the quads. The quads are going to want to take over and say, oh, I can lift you down and up. But I want you to feel the sitting bones at the base of the pelvis. It's like a diamond, and they're broadening on the way down. You can think about it like a fan, and then they're narrowing on the way up, and that's gonna help you access your breath and the core connection, even when the quads really wanna do all that efforting. Let's go for 2 more there. Keep the torso nice and upright. Exhaling down. Inhaling, lift with breath. Let's hold this next one hovered over our heels. We're going to bow forward, draw the navel up and in. I like to flip my dumbbells long here. That's just a preference thing. If you want to keep them where they were, that's fine. And we're going to reach the arms long. So we want to find that connection, keep working. We're holding in the lowered squat position. And I want you to find the arms moving from in between the shoulder blades. So instead of thinking a right and a left, think about one long arm, and it's mimicking the movement through the shoulder blades of the other arm. So it's a long arm working together and keeping broadness in between the shoulder blades. Think about your heart lifting into the back body. Let's go for 2 more there. And the last one, go ahead and bring it in. All right, set those dumbbells down, and and we're gonna do that side bridge with our left forearm on the floor. So we're gonna come onto our left forearm and our left hip. That's down on the floor below us. Like on the other side, we're gonna make sure that we're opening the front side of the hips, okay? So we don't want the knees forward. You can go ahead and lengthen the top hip. That's gonna help you lift the bottom ribs. We don't wanna hang out in this shoulder like that. We wanna find lots of lift and length, all right? And then we are going to inhale as we bring it up. Right arm comes up. Find that connection, find that balance point. And then we're going to float the right leg up. I like the foot flexed here. And then we're gonna bring it down about 2 inches apart. Tap the hip down, lift it on up. Crease at the outer hip. Hold with space. Tap it down, lift it up. Crease at the top side of the hip, keeping the legs parallel, and back down. Keep working. As we are opening that leg, I want you to think about that inner thigh still giving some feedback into the band, but the effort is from the top hip crease rather than from the knee. So send your effort closer to the core as we're working and keep those bottom ribs lifted. That's really important to protect the shoulder and connect to the middle back while we're working. Let's go for one more here, and then we're gonna hold at the top for that small range of movement. So go ahead and come into the top range of movement, and we're gonna do a little tiny crease. Little tiny crease. So I was noticing that my right knee was kind of wanting to tip down like this. So keep everything level and parallel, and think about that femur bone sinking in for 4. This is 3. This is 2. And last one. Go ahead and bring it all the way down. Okay, I'm gonna ditch that band for now. So go ahead and slide it off if you have fashioned one from a red band or a loop. And we're gonna go into a Wunda-based. So bring your hands wide at the top of the mat and your feet are 4 inches apart parallel. We're gonna do this in flat back today. So first thing we do is think about a seat belt at the hips, lengthening the spine and creasing deeply at the knees and the front side of the hips. Collarbones are nice and wide, looking straight down at the mat between your arms. We're gonna leave the right leg where it is and lengthen the left leg up and back, creating our best diagonal. From here, exhale to prepare, please. Inhale as we lengthen and shift the weight forward, but we're not riding the shoulders. Exhale as you crease at the right hip. Now we're gonna layer on. We're gonna draw the left knee in as the right leg goes long. And then we're going to exhale as we crease and bring it back. Today I'm asking for an inhale on the way forward for length and an exhale on the way back for power. Keep working, guys. So as we're working through this exercise, try not to ride the shoulders and really think about the hips leading, the pelvis leading the reach. Similar to when we were doing our bridge, that was in preparation for this, so that we can feel the length in the spine while we're working and not riding our small shoulder joints. Let's go for one more here. Hold it with the right knee bent a lot and the left leg reaching behind you. And we're going to trace a small circle with the left thigh bone. So it is a small range of movement. Hold and keep working. I'm just gonna give you a little visual what I'm after. Think about that femur bone moving through the dome of the steady pelvis. Let's go for 2 more small circles. It's not about the foot. Last one. With control, bring your left foot down and bring both knees down to the mat. All right, guys, let's go ahead and grab those dumbbells or wine bottles. Again, P.S. my favorite question ever when I said grab wine bottles, someone said empty or full. So if you need clarification, full. We're gonna come all the way down onto our backs. You're gonna have 1 dumbbell or weight in each hand. And we're going to straight away float the left leg up to tabletop using the psoas, the suspender muscle on the left side, talking to the left inner thigh. Keep the tailbone heavy and the front side of the ankle open. Now we're gonna ask the right inner thigh to talk to the right psoas and float that leg up. Just kind of take stock of your body real quick and make sure that you didn't melt your low back to the floor. We don't want to do that. We want to find that length. Tailbone is heavy and find more space between the pubic bone and your navel. Once you feel comfortable with that arrangement, you can take the arms up towards the sky, plug them into the shoulder blades, and we're gonna mimic arm arcs like we do in class. So here we go, guys. Inhale, float just your hair off the back of the floor and hold. I want you to find that really deep connection from the front side of the neck all the way down the abdominals. Exhale, set the head down. One more time, we're just gonna find that connection. Inhale as we lengthen. It's like your head is a hammock reaching for the other side of the room. And exhale, set it back down. Okay, this time full range of movement. Here we go. Inhale, beach towel slides out from underneath you. Bring it all the way up to the tips of the shoulder blades. Then you can exhale as the arms go down and we rise into a full abdominal curl. And then we're gonna unwind and bring it back down. Inhale, back side of the head picks up all the way through the shoulder blades. Exhale as the arms reach, long tailbone stays heavy, and come all the way back down, keeping the arms plugged into the middle back. Inhale as you lengthen and reach. Exhale as you finish that curl and unwind. Let's go ahead and layer on with a single leg reach. So it's going to look like this. As we inhale and lift, we're going to send the right leg long like so. Exhale as we lower it all the way back down. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, bring it back down. So work at your own pace, guys. Finding that reach of the leg from the deep abdominals. If that does not feel great to your low back, then the leg doesn't need to go all the way long. So I'm going to demonstrate what you can do if you have a sensitive low back. You can just send the leg out a little bit, and that's going to take less pressure off of the back, and it's going to continue to give you a really nice abdominal focus. So it doesn't have to be a fully long and low straight leg. It's entirely up to you. Pay attention to your body. If you are up for it, the last few, you can choose to do 2 straight legs. That's entirely up to you. You can do a single leg or you can do 2. Inhale as you lengthen and reach. Exhale as you bring it back in. Let's go for 2 more. Inhaling as we lengthen. Exhale as we bring it back. This is going to be our last one. And exhale, bring it back. Go ahead and lower the arms towards the floor. With control, use your abdominals to lower the legs all the way back to the floor. So you should feel inner thigh and abdominal connection even when we're coming out of the exercise. All right, let's handle the Wunda-based on the other side. So hands come to the top of the mat, shoulder width distance. Lengthen the legs back so that you are 4 inches apart parallel. This time the left leg stays where it is, but we're gonna bend both knees a lot first. So bend both knees a lot. We have that sensation of the pelvis stretching the spine. Reach the right leg long and back, creating your best diagonal here. Now on the inhale, we're gonna shift the weight forward, coming into a single leg plank essentially. And we're gonna exhale as we reach back, creasing deeply at the left hip. Let's layer on. Go ahead and add that right knee drawing in for deep abdominal connection. Inhale here. And exhale as you reach it back. Keep working, guys. I want you to really focus on that femur head and the hip socket lubricating deeply. Invite the femur head deeply into the hip socket as you crease and shift your weight back. There should not be tension in the shoulders or neck, and your head should not be looking up. You should be looking down at the mat to keep the neck, head, and spine in alignment, all right? So find that breath, the inhale across the collarbones, inhale for length as you come into your plank orientation, exhale, narrow around the waistline for power as you come back into the Wunda-based position. Let's go for 2 more, and then we're gonna trace that little circle. Inhaling for length, and we're gonna exhale as we bring it back. Inhale, find that length. We're gonna hold the next one back. Hold the next one back, holding here. Go ahead and trace a circle with that femur head. Keep working there, guys. So again, think about that femur bone. It's a ball and socket joint, and we are literally lubricating and improving functionality of the hip while we tone your booty. You're welcome. Little tiny circles. Let's go for 3 more. Think about the collarbone staying nice and wide, lifting off of the shoulders. Last two. And with control, bring your right foot down and both knees down to the mat. All right, let's go ahead and flip over on our backs one more time. We're gonna flip over on our backs and we're going to go into a little jump sequence. So you're going to have your hands this time interlaced underneath the base of the skull. I really want your hands to be supporting the weight of the head. So it's quite literally a hammock supporting the weight. We're gonna pick up the head, neck, and shoulders first. And we are going to straight away bring the right leg up this time into tabletop. And now the left leg joins it. Come into closed parallel, no light between the knees and toes. And we are going to flex the feet as if we were landing on a jump board. So you want to flex the feet like you're landing. That made me shake straight away. I hope somebody else is shaking out there with me. And we're going to inhale as we lengthen the legs long. Exhale as we bring it in. Inhale, lengthen long. Exhale, bring it in. Now we're gonna do baby steps. Keep working. We're gonna open the legs maybe 2 inches and then exhale, flex, and they're still 2 inches apart. Now they're 4 inches apart as we extend. And then we exhale, flex, bring it in. They're staying parallel. Now we're as wide as our mat as we extend. Exhale, flex to bring it in. Keep working now. We're gonna go 4 inches apart and then we're gonna bring it in. So keep working at your own pace, taking these baby steps from all the way closed to all the way as wide as your mat. And again, if that's not great for your back today, do a small reach and bring it back in. All right, so pay attention to your body. Keep working. I'm going to show you with my hands what your feet are meant to be doing. So we're starting like this, closed parallel. We're flexing to bring it in. We're opening just a few inches. We're flexing to bring it in. The pelvis is quiet, don't move your hips. We're opening 4 inches and then we're flexing to bring it in, activating through the back line of the body, all the way as wide as the mat, and bring it back in, and then we're reversing that. So it's a sincere ab challenge. I know that you're working hard with your breath. Use an inhale to send the legs out, and an exhale to invite them back in. Everyone meet me back at the center. Meet me back at the center. Keep working, same range of movement. So we're in a closed parallel position. Head, neck, and shoulders are lifted. Unless that's not great for you today, your head can always go down. Let's finish with a little downhill ski. So we're gonna swivel the legs, but not the pelvis. Keep the pelvis very quiet. You might even choose to take your hands onto the pelvis so that they are not, you can make sure that you're keeping your hips quiet and they're not moving below you. It's not about how far the legs swivel, it's about keeping the pelvis quiet. That's how we're going to get the deep waistline activation. Think about your head like a hammock. Let's go for 4 more here. Let's go for 3. Exhale, flex to bring it in. Inhale, send it long. This is our last one. Bring it in. With intention, set your head all the way down. With intention, use your abdominals to bring the legs back to the floor. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go into a push-up set. We're gonna go into a Pilates push-up. So step to the back side of your mat. We're gonna have our feet 4 inches apart, parallel. Float the arms up and overhead. Exhale, nod the chin, round the spine, lifting from under the ribs like you had a helium balloon under the ribs. And we're gonna take 4 steps to get to our plank with our hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower down into a push-up. Inhale, arms come long, walk back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arms float up and overhead. It's kind of like a fast roll up. Exhale as you nod the chin, round the spine. 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. I'm doing a tricep focused push-up, keeping my elbows reaching straight back. You can pick your poison. You can do your elbows coming wide or your elbows coming narrow. But just keep working. We're inhaling on the way up. Exhaling as you lower down. Keep your weight balanced on your feet. Keep going. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want the elbows outbound for your push-up, your fingertips need to tip in. Inhale as you come up. Stay down. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do more push-ups together. So we're exhaling to lower down. Inhaling to bring it up. If that doesn't feel great for your back, or if you're loading into the shoulders very heavily, you might want to try your shins down. And that's gonna give you a deeper core challenge. It drives the focus more to the core. So you can choose, it's gonna be more of a chest, arms, shoulders, and core if you're up on your toes. or you can choose shins down. Let's go for 3. Keep them nice and tiny because I want the middle back broad the whole time. This is 2. This is going to be our last one. Everyone get your knees off the floor. Hold your plank. We're walking back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come up and overhead and bring them to your sides. All right, guys. Last thing today, we started with a squat. We're going to finish with a squat. Grab your dumbbells if you want them. We are going to have our knees and toes glued together, and we're going to do an arm raise up towards the sky as we lower into the squat. Here we go. Get equal weight on the soles of your feet. Crease at the hips. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale as you lengthen all the way back up. Again, you can have those dumbbells if you want them, creasing deeply at the hips on the way down. Inhaling as you gather and rise up. I like to think about my waistline narrowing with that exhale and about my ribs lifting off of the pelvis lifting off of the legs as I exhale. Find equal weight across the soles of your feet. Please don't load all your weight into your heels, and I don't want to see any toes picking up like this. Get those toes melting into the floor. That's how you find the core connection. All right, guys, here we go. We have 3 more. You've made it. We're stretching next. We're gonna go for 2 more. Exhaling on the way down. Inhaling on the way up. I have very good news. We're gonna make this last one count. We're gonna hold and breathe. Isometric challenge. Wrap your head around it. I'm gonna do it if you do it. We're just gonna hold and breathe. Plug the arms down into the middle back. Think about broadening the collarbones. Check in with the soles of the feet. Have you dumped your weight into the outer foot, the inner foot, the toes, the heels? Balance it out. You should feel almost this kind of tingling or trembling sensation all the way up the body. If you have that neurological connection to the soles of the feet and all the proprioceptors that are touching the floor, giving your brain feedback about where you are in space. Melting the shoulder blades down, magnetize the outer thighs. Think about the heels supporting the weight of the glutes. Head is in line with the spine. Let's see if we can sink a little bit longer, not lower, reaching back, stretching the spine like we did in our bridge. Last 6. Stay with it, gang. You got this for 5. This is 4. Plug the arms down, draw the navel up and in between the shoulder blades. 4, 2. And with control, inhale, gather and rise all the way up. Amazing job, you guys. Let's take a little stretch and then we'll go into our Q&A. So come into a downward dog position for me. We're going to send our hips up and back. And we can just take a nice deep breath here. Melting your heels low, broadening the collarbones, sending your chest heavy towards your knees. And you can go ahead and bend the left knee and stretch the right leg a little more deeply. And go ahead and switch sides. Bending the right knee, stretching the left a little more deeply. And then you can see if you can send both a little bit further to the floor. I always like to keep the left leg long, bend the right knee, and open the hip. Now the left heel can really get close to the floor, stretching through the right leg, the right waistline. Bring it back through center, right foot goes down, left knee bends a lot, right heel melts down, the left knee opens. Go ahead and bring that left foot down, and rather than going to the floor, let's go ahead and walk back up similar to that Pilates push-up. Hands come onto the shins, slowly rising up, stacking space between your joints. All the way up to unwind the head, neck, and shoulders. Open towards the sky, opening your heart towards the sky, but we're not gonna let the abdominals spill forward. Stay engaged to protect that low back even as we stretch. And with intention, imprint your arms to the sides and maintain that posture until I see you next time.